You want to turn it sideways? Cannot turn your device when you're live. Okay, whatever. No, don't face over there. Boom. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome. How are we doing tonight, everyone? Sorry to get to you a little bit late. I normally put on something, say I'm coming on. Did not do that tonight. So my topic for this evening is being a good dad. Now, you can have a lot of things to say I'm a good father. But a good father goes so much deeper than just paying child support or paying the bills or coming home sitting on the couch drinking a beer and smoking a cigarette, waiting for the food to get made while the kids are off doing their homework. It's more than that. You know, it's important for a father to be engaging with their children. Now, being engaged with your children, that can go a lot of different ways. And you can also take it too far. You know, some parents like to try to be their kid's best friend. Well, this day and age, that's fucking impossible. Because of the powder puff little fuckers that have been born and raised since my time, it's not working. But also, I think the lack of father figure within the life that can create issues too. I feel that there should be an equal between the man and the woman, husband and wife, fiance. You know, especially if you guys have a kid together. But too many times in our society, fathers are taking a backseat role on their children. And it's depressing to think about that you'd rather sit off in the background, watch your kid fuck up, or actually sit back and watch your kid do something fucked up just to sit back and laugh at them, or throw them under the bus to grandparents, in-laws, things like that, just so you can point a finger. You know, we have to engage our children as fathers. And, you know, I think in the younger generation this has been lost. You know, let me give you a story. My dad was a hard-working man. For those of you who know my father, he was a hard-working man. I mean, this man was 6'5", 500 pounds with a 78-inch chest and tree trunks for thighs. What's up, Taz? How you doing, brother? You know, and he was not just a good man. He was a good person. His ability to teach, to show someone, you know, like me, may have not have always been there, but he tried. He just didn't have patience. And I was hard to teach as a kid. You know, I was spastic always. I had squirrel moments like a motherfucker squirrel. You know, that was me. Just like right now, I'm fidgety as fuck. I keep dropping that damn lighter. But, so I was hard to teach, and my dad just didn't have the patience for it. It didn't make him a bad dad. Because in those moments, some of my most favorite stories came from sitting on the back of the truck, in the garage, while grilling up steaks and burgers and hot dogs, you know, during the summer. Or during the winter, my dad had a tradition that every Christmas Eve he would go outside and he would look at the North Star and he would pray to his dad, who he lost when he was only 12 years old. And so it's important to share that, because some people would be like, well, that was just that's what's that got to do with me? It's heritage, it's lineage, it's how you remember somebody. You know, I didn't get a whole lot of stories about my grandfather growing up. And unfortunately, my grandmother decided to wipe him off existence. No one talked about him. No one said anything. And I always felt cheated for that, because I looked so much like my grandfather that I wish I would know more about him. And the only thing that my grandmother could ever tell me is that those are shoes you will never fill. How do you tell that to a 5-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid? How do you say that to somebody? Why not tell them a story? Like, this is probably one of 2 stories I have of my grandfather, who I'm named after, by the way. One of them is when my dad was a kid. They were swimming in a lake, and my grandpa went under the water, and when he emerged, he had seaweed, lake weed, whatever you want to call it. It was the underwater grass, whatever the fuck you want to call it, on his head, and he looked like a sea monster, and he actually scared my dad. That was a story I got told several times throughout my life. And another one where, love you, baby. And another one to where my grandfather and my great-grandfather, they went out hunting one day, and they were on a ridge, on one ridge, and across the other ridge, they saw a fox sitting on a tree stump. My great-grandfather betted my grandpa that he couldn't shoot that fox. Well, sure as shit, to make a long story short, my grandpa shot that fox from one ridge to another with a .22. But my grandpa was a crap shot. This man could hit a kite string, 100 feet in the air. Well, maybe not 100 feet in the air, maybe about 50 feet in the air. But those are the only stories I know of my past, of my lineage, of my grandfather, my dad. I have so many great stories to tell my kids about my dad, because I want them to know who he is, because he was a great man, and I strive on a daily basis to be even a fraction of what he was to me, and I hope I can be that to my children. I know I can do that to Celia, because she lives with me. Zachary, Haley, Stephanie, Michelle, and Everett, I might not get that opportunity until they're grown. And that sucks, because there's women behind that are keeping them from me. Keeping me from being the father that I deserve to be. And that's why I want to talk about this. Because society has become such a throwaway mentality that some men think they can do that to their families. And I say that because, some things that popped up today that kind of made me think about it, like cheating. I am no saint when it comes to that lifestyle. I spent most of my 20s doing exactly that. But I spent most of my 20s doing a lot of different things too that will come out in other conversations within this. But I'm not a stranger to it, which means I know how to talk about it, which means I know the pain that it inflicts. Abuse goes both ways as well. Mental, physical. Honestly, you can do more damage to the brain than you can to the body in a shorter amount of time. I know this because a toxic woman can hurt a man just as much as an asshole can destroy a woman. Now, within that, there's things that I deal with today, mentalities and thought processes from my significant other that come from other men that I deal with. They're not always there, but they do raise their head every now and again because she knows I'm not them. And the same for me, from my last marriage. There's things that happen to me that I have to stop myself and look at my wonderful woman and remember that's not her. But when it comes to being a good dad, there's many ways to be a good dad. You have to support them emotionally, support your children emotionally, be there physically. They have to know you love them. They have to know that you care about them. Because without that parental guidance from the male figure, it has the tendency to ruin things. Now, I'm not saying that gay and lesbian couples don't make good parents. I'm not saying that. There are some really great parents out there that are same-sex parents. I'm not saying that they're worse off because their parents are gay or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, as a traditional setup, as a father figure, if you choose to stick it and leave it in, then God damn it, you should know how to deal with it. And that is the child. That becomes your main fucking priority. That should be your world. That should be everything you wake up and think about in a day. How can I make this little person better than me? That should always be the goal. To make this little ball of clay, so to speak. How can I mold? How can I be a part of molding this beautiful thing into an incredible person? Too much, they just rather just beat them down. Those are good words, Camilla. Those are strong words. You're absolutely right, Camilla. And I'm glad you got that mindset. That tells me that you're not going to have kids for a while. Thank you. Anyway. But it even comes to being a stepdad. Because even being a stepdad, you still have an important role to have in a child's life. Even an older child. Like me and my stepson, Declan. It just dawned on me the other day. He waited on the phone for 30 minutes just so he could tell me that he got a job that I pushed him towards. And that was pride, because I knew that it meant as much to him to tell me as it meant for me to hear it. And it's epic to me that he wanted to do that. Like that means so much to me. Because all he wants is a male figure in his life to love him, to care for him, to let him know that he's there for him. And I'm proud to be that person. And so that's another reason why I wanted to create this video, is to let it be known that it's not just a title. It's not just something you get because you popped out some fucking kids. You earn it. It's a respect. You just don't become one. Because we all make mistakes. I'm not saying a child is a mistake. I'm saying as a person, we all make mistakes. And a child is never one of those things. Now, one night stands happen, but you know what? Again, you're dumb enough to do it. You should be smart enough to take care of it. And same goes for the female on that end, but that's another story for another day. Right now, I'm focusing on male figures, dads, the wannabes. And what I mean by the wannabes is you can have 18, 22, some odd number kids. Being a step parent isn't just a name. It's actually being there for that child. You can't get into a relationship with someone and neglect their child. You should treat their child as your own as well. Yes, Camille. Yes, you are wise beyond your years, darling. I'm proud to see that too. And that is true. That is true. Being a step parent, you should step into that role. It's not just a name like my little cousin here has made known. It is as well a thing you should earn. But too many times, dads do what they think are best, and sometimes it's not. But when you cause your family, when you could be the direct cause of having to go to counseling, you have fucked up as a person, as an adult, as a man, as a human being. If you cause your child to have to seek professional help for their mental, and it's your fault, then fuck you. You're the worst person in the goddamn world. If you are such a man in which you create your wife to have to go to counseling because of you, you're a piece of shit. Because you should never break somebody down like that. You are here as a parent to rise, to lift your child up, to let them know they can do anything they set their minds to. And hell, if anybody wants to stop you, run them over. That is what my dad taught me. The only person that can stop me is me. And the same with you. The only person that can stop you is you. And if you're the one standing in the way, then I hope your kid runs you the fuck over. Theoretically, not literally. Although if it happens literally, you may have deserved it. Who knows? I don't know your life or your story. But we do make mistakes. The point of the matter is even for those dads who did make those mistakes, if they are wise enough to come through and realize where they fucked up at, and they come to that child, there's still hope. There's hope for that. I've seen it too many times. You have a fuck up for a dad, and it's over and over and over. The man goes to jail. He's not there. He's cheating. He's beaten. He's this. He's that. And the next thing you know, this man shows up at your door one day after 10 years of not talking to him, and he's got his head down and he's crying. That's a broken man. And he's coming to you for repentance. That is the best time to have an awesome relationship with somebody, if you can't have it beforehand. My dad, he's everything I'd ever want to be. As far as a provider, a mentor. Because my dad just wasn't a mentor to me. No, my dad mentored generations. Because he worked for the school system. So there's all kinds of people out there. Some may be watching my video now who could remember a story about my dad and something that he told them that may have changed their life for the better. That's the kind of person you should want to be in life. Always wanting to see the best in somebody and wanting to lift them up and believe in them even when they don't believe in themselves. That is the basis of being a parent and a father, is knowing the abilities of your children even when they don't know it themselves. That's part of being there for your child. That's part of lifting your child up, even if you don't understand. Even if your kid is the complete, total opposite of what you are, embrace them. Show them that you love them. Embrace their quirkiness. If they're quirky, embrace it, because that is your child. You created it. You are there to support it. And that's what we all need to do as parents. Support, love our children. Don't beat them down. Don't make them feel less than. Don't hate on them. Love them. Now, there is a fine line between love and creating a little wussified little fuck. Because you can create a wussified little fuck. My dad was fair but strong. My dad ruled our house with an iron hand. And that's no joke. That's great to hear, Camille. My dad loved you with all his heart. He always said you were the best thing to ever come from Michael. And that is the truth. I'm not lying. My dad said that for a while about you. You are the best thing that ever came from Michael. So I hope you take that with you. But yes, even Michael is a great father. He's made his mistakes like everybody else. But he is a great dad. He has taken on things that most men couldn't. And for that I have his respect. And he's an honorable man. Still an idiot at times. Still a little bit childish at times as well. But a good man nonetheless. So love him, Camille. Love him for who he is. Because trust me, your father loves you. And wants nothing more than to see you thrive. And that's how we all should be with our kids. We all should want the best. Mothers and fathers should always be there for our kids. Don't beat them down anymore. Don't make them feel less than so they become bullies and degenerates and Unabombers and shooting up schools and shit like that, because it doesn't just start at school. It's not just a school thing. It's at home. It's having a good home life. Because sometimes that's all I had to look forward to, was a great home environment. And not everybody got that. Some people were beat as children. Some people were abused as children. Some people were raped as children. Sexually touched. And that fucks with them. You just fucked with your child's life. In that one moment, you destroyed their innocence. You destroyed everything. Love you too, Declan. All my heart, boy. You just have no idea. You have no idea. So, you're right, we were there. And I'll never not be there for you. So, but that's what we need to be here for. We're here to lift our kids up. We're here to make them better than what we were. Like I said, this one hits a little bit home for me. I'm actually trying not to choke up right now, because for all the successes that I feel that I have, with Declan, Celia, Noel, I have 5 failures out there that I look at it that way. And some of it was because of my youth. Some of it because of circumstance. All of it is because of their mothers. Now, for some of you moms out there, you have every right to keep your kid away from that father. If he is an abuser, he's a beater, he's a rapist, he is anything that would remove any innocence from that child. You are more than welcome, and you have my respect if you are strong enough to keep that man away. But too many times, You have a good man at home. It was just a bad relationship. And you part ways. And you hold on to that negativity. You know, like my first wife, Brenda. I was an asshole. All right, I was with that woman for 7 years, and I'll admit I cheated on her probably every bit of 25 times. Yes, I was that motherfucker. I earned that title, motherfucker. And when we separated, she was pregnant with twins. I didn't know that. And she chose to keep that from me and ended up having a miscarriage because of it, because of the stress that I put her under. Then she turns around after our divorce is finalized, and I don't see my kids for a whole year and a half. My son was told that I was dead for an entire year and a half. My children thought I was dead because of that. Now, I ruined this woman. I'm not even going to lie to you. I didn't beat her, but I mentally fucked with her. And so she chose to do it back with me and using my kids to do it. And now I don't know if I ever get a chance to redeem myself with my children. People tell me I can, but I believe it when it happens. So that's why I'm just sitting here and I'm telling you these things, because I'm not just telling it to you as someone looking from the outside in. No, I'm coming from the inside and I'm looking out, because I've already been there. And I know what it takes to be a good man, because I was raised by one. And I may have forgotten it along the way, but I remember it now. And I'm doing right by my kids now, which is the important thing. Do not dwell on the past, fathers. Know that there can be a future if you're willing to fight for it. And I'm ready. I'm ready to fight for all of my kids. Because I have 2 amazing young adults who I love and cherish. Yes, they still need a swift kick in the ass every now and again. But honestly, at their age, I did too. There's nobody there to do it for me at that time. For the rest of my children, who I love dearly, I cannot wait for you to knock on my door and sit at my table, so we can have this conversation together. For those fathers out there that, fuck you, man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, fuck you, because you're probably the asshole I'm talking about, who has driven your stepkids away for one reason or another, driven your wife to madness and some sort of an insanity, to where the bitch knows she's insane but still stays, and turn one of your kids into a hobbit. One to spite you, and the other one's, well, who knows what the other ones may be. Or you just might have one kid, who knows. You know, it's just hard to tell. But you're a piece of shit if you do anything but lift your kids up. I don't care who I make mad. I don't care who I piss off. Because the bullshit that I've had to go through because of people like you has almost made me jaded. Because there's so many dads out there in the world who I'm talking about right now, that when you got a motherfucker like me trying to do right for the kids, trying to do right for that woman who's been jaded by you motherfucker, who sits there and continuously uses your woman as a fucking meal ticket, but yet want to come after my old lady for child support. Yeah, I'm calling that one out. So, sorry, Noel. I'm talking about your daddy. So, are ones that just lay back and laugh at their kids as they suffer. Oh, well, I had to do it. You do too. No, that's not the fucking point. You had to do it because your life sucked. For whatever fucking reason. That doesn't mean you have to do it to your kids. Now, the same token, I do believe in a firm hand. I do believe every kid deserves one of those. I do believe it. I solemnly swear that every kid needs to get the ass beat when it's deserved, when it's warranted. It's not an every time punishment, but it should fit the crime in which they committed. Some parents like to put rice on the ground, make their kids kneel on the rice and sit in a corner. Well, why don't you just water bag them? Why don't you just throw a towel over their face and dump water on the towel? That's a form of torture. But my last ex-wife would rather do that than that. What sense does that make? You had my kids go outside and kneel in the gravel and stand there and sit there on their knees in the gravel for minutes at a time. 5+ to be exact. But I couldn't bust ass. What fucking sense does that make? Dads, stand up for your kids. Don't let a toxic relationship ruin your relationship with your kids. Don't let another woman ruin the relationship with your existing children. Oh, well, that's funny. No excuses. Objects should be used. No, oh yeah, objects should be used. A paddle or hand, 100%. Yes, see, that's what I'm talking about. My little cousin right here, Camilla, right there. So much smarter than your years give you. So, but that's how it should be. Love your kids. Rule with a firm hand. Don't be a limp dick. Rule your world with a firm hand. Honor, respect, and stand up for your children. And by no means should you let anybody speak poorly about your children. Do not let anybody call your kids names, even if they're trying just to take a stab at you. Don't let it happen. It is intolerable. Because if you do let it happen, what good are you? Are you going to defend them later on in life when they really need you the most? Because even my dad, and my mom, for that matter, there were times I lied my ass off to get out of trouble in school. But my dad believed me so much that he would stand up for me even when he knew I was wrong. That's the kind of person I'm talking about. That's the level in which I'm talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, this is also the same man that damn near knocked me out of a car one time. Deservingly so. I don't exactly remember what I did, but knowing my father, I deserved it. Wholeheartedly. I know this. My mom had to get creative because she was a small woman, especially when I got bigger. But again, we'll talk about that later. I love my mother with all my heart and soul. She's the person I lean on more now than ever. So, because my dad's no longer here. But my dad was my confidant. I could tell him anything. From sex, to drugs, to school, to women, music. There was not one topic that I couldn't talk to my dad about. Hunting, fishing, tracking. My dad knew it all. And he taught me everything. Most of everything I know. Next to my grandfather, my current stepdad Murph. You know, y'all taught me a lot. I have a bliss of having a lot of influential men in my life. Both of my uncles, Uncle Scotty and Uncle Randy, especially Uncle Randy now. He is definitely a huge influence in my life. And I'm very thankful to have my uncle with me, because he's my last attachment to that past that I don't know too much about, and hopefully one day he'll tell me. And what a Camille right here. For all the scumbag parents that treat their kids like crap and mental and physical abuse to their children, don't try to take credit when your child makes it in the world because you didn't. Ooh, that is true. That is true. I believe even Eminem made a song about that because his mama did the same thing. You know, but there is somebody I want to give a shout out to tonight. It's an actual famous guy. It's because he's got a lot of great things to say. Ivan Moody. He's the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch. He's a great guy. I hope to one day get to speak to this man on a personal level, because I like his heart. I like what he has to say. I like where he comes from. I mean, even though he's big, he still stays home. He's a father. A true father. You know, he takes his family on tour with him at times. He brings kids up on stage, gives them water, shakes their hands, gives them autograph stuff. You know, this is a man that is grounded. This is a man that is a father. And we all should strive to be better than what our parents were. Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, I follow him on Instagram all the time. All the time. I was watching one of his videos today. I mean, the man literally said, "I'm sorry, Mom, but I have to." You know, I mean, that hit me, because that's something I would say. "Sorry, Mom, but I have to do this. I have to say this." You know, and again, never, ever. And if you are, let me say this. If you're watching this video, or if you see this video down the road, and you're one of those kids that is or was in one of those relationships with their father, or it could be your mother too, because trust me, mothers are not exempt from this. A mother will whore you out just as quick as a dad would. I've seen it. It's sad. I have seen it. I have seen it in the streets of Baton Rouge. I have seen it in Orlando. I've seen it in Cuba. It's atrocious to see what parents will do to their children. Because most people don't know that. I know some parents that actually would sell their children for sex just to feed their habit. China is infamous for that. Infamous. It's an underbelly. I mean, it is a thing. Kids sold into sex trade. by their parents, the people who are supposed to be there to comfort you, protect you. That's what we're here for. That's what is not happening. But if you are a victim, just know that you are brilliant. You are amazing. You can do anything for as long as you put your mind to it. You are beautiful, stunning brain. Use it. I was told all of my life by my own teachers that I would be nothing. Nothing. Literally, I was told this at 10 years old by one of my teachers that I would never accomplish a thing. My dad destroyed that schoolroom. Granted, he had to go back and fix it because he worked for the school system. But my parents destroyed that teacher verbally. And I do believe ended up getting the job taken afterwards. I think. I don't remember. It's been a long time. I'm talking over 20 years ago. But I was told this throughout my life, that I would never amount to anything. And the sad part is my parents heard it so much they almost believed it themselves. And I don't blame my parents for that. I blame the schooling. I blame the education department of this world. Forget Marietta, Ohio. I'm talking about just in general. I was pushed through. I didn't deserve my diploma because I didn't earn it. Not all the way. I mean, I tried, especially when I got into school and stuff. Yes. Marietta, Ohio. Little bodunk town on the Ohio River, borders up to West Virginia. Beautiful town, set off in the picturesque mountain range of the Appalachian Mountains. State Route 26 is probably the sexiest road you could ever go down. But the school system sucks. And again, it's not... I don't even think it's the fault of the teachers. I just think the development of our school system has failed. We could talk about that too. That's another great topic. Another really great topic right there. It's how the school systems have failed our children in education. Like this Common Core math shit. What the fuck is that? 2 plus 2 is 4, motherfucker. Shouldn't have to go down and say, well, 2 plus 4, equals... What the fuck? 2 plus 2 is motherfucking 4. Okay? Any goddamn questions? Anyway. Be a father. Don't be a punk, motherfucker. Be the person that your kids will remember positively. Don't be that tyrant that they hate, that they're proud to see go. Let the party that they have for you when you're dead be in a remembrance of your life instead of the gladness that you're gone. Because I've been to both of those parties. Not my own. Not my own. I've only celebrated my father. And I hope mine is celebrated as well. Because I would do the best I can with what time I have to be the best father I can be. And you all need to step up and do it. I can't tell you how to be a good parent. It's not for me to tell you. I can just tell you what to do. I can tell you how to be. How you should be. Be caring. Be loyal. Be there for them. Then you have to work extra hard and bust every blood vessel in your brain to walk across that stage and get a stupid piece of paper that no one helped you, that the school system. Oh, wow. Girl, you can really lay it out there. No, 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 no. Don't do that. I don't know what that was, but that looked cool. Could I add you? Wait, what was that? Oh, come on. Are you serious? I can do that? Oh, man. I gotta play with this fucking thing. I can do stuff with this. What? I can add people to my broadcast. What? I didn't know I could do that. Anyway, sorry, I just learned something new. But I mean, come on. Come on, dads. We gotta come together. We gotta be there for our kids. Stop being selfish. Stop being ignorant. Be there for your children in every way you can be, even if it's just over the phone. Be there. That's what I'm asking for, because we need to bring up a better status of children, of another generation of kids, of girls, of boys. We have to be there just as much as the mother does. We matter. Fathers matter. Mothers matter. Together. Even if you're not together as a couple, you need to be together for the child. Because that's all that fucking matters. And it does. It all starts at home. Everything starts at home. You don't have a good basis at home, you will not have a good basis for school, you will not have a good basis for life, and you will fail. And the only way you can't fail is if you realize what's going on and you do it yourself. And that's the worst thing to do as a kid. You have to have support. Be there. Or step out of the way and let some man come in that can. That's that. That's what I'm ending on. If you, as a man, are not man enough to do right by your kids, get the fuck out of the way and let another man do it for you. One love, world. Camilla, I cannot wait to come home and give you a hug. Because you are a brilliant child, and I am proud of you. Good night.